The next topic is theories of bonding of coordination compounds. There are three modern theories have been developed to explain the bonding involved in and the properties of coordination compound. These theories are: the first one is the valence bond theory, then crystal field theory, and last is the molecular orbital theory. In present discussion, we are going to consider only the first theory of the bonding, that is the valence bond theory. The valence bond theory of complex was mainly developed by Linus Pauling. This theory is the simplest of the three theories and is easy to apply. It gives fairly accurate explanation of the structure and magnetic property of a large number of coordination compounds. So let us discuss the main point of this theory. The point number one: the central atom in the complex provide a number of empty orbitals equal to its coordination number for the formation of coordinate bond with appropriate ligand. Then second point: the formation of a strong bond require that the overlap of metal orbitals with ligand orbital should be as large as possible. In order to achieve this, the atomic orbital of metal hybridize to form a new set of equivalent hybridized orbital with definite directional properties. Then third one: the non-bonding metal electron occupy the inner orbitals which do not participate in the hybridization. Then the fourth point: this point told that the d orbital involved in the hybridization scheme which are required to accommodate the ligand electron may be either inner n-d orbitals or outer nd orbitals. Then next point: each ligand must contains a lone pair of electron on the donor group. A covalent sigma bond is formed by the overlap of a vacant hybridized metal orbital and a filled orbital of the ligand. The bond is sometimes called coordinate bond. Then last point: if we know the number of unpaired electrons in the metal complex, then it is possible to predict the geometry of the complexes. So these are the main point of valence bond theory of transition metal complexes. Then let us consider the application of valence bond theory in various coordination compound. So these are the some common hybridization scheme in case of coordination compound with coordination number 2 having sp hybridization, and the shape of the compound is linear, and these are the common examples. Then coordination number 4, square planar, and it is DsP2 hybridization. Coordination number 4 with tetrahedral shape and geometry is sp3. Coordination number 6, octahedral shape having D to sp3 hybridization or sp3 D2 hybridization, and these are the common examples. So let us consider their application in detail. Now if we apply this postulate to explain the magnetic behavior of this complex in which chromium is attached with the 6-ammonia ligand. So the atomic number of chromium is 24, and in ground state the electronic configuration of chromium, it will contains 5 electron in 3d orbital and 1 electron in 4s orbital. In case of the complex, chromium will having oxidation state 3. So chromium 3 positive having this electronic configuration, it will having 3 electron in 3d orbitals. So in order to accommodate 12 electron from the ammonia ligand, it can require 6 orbitals. So it is very much clear from this picture. The chromium, it will having these 2 orbital from 3d orbitals, 1 orbital from 4s orbital, and 3 orbital from 4p orbital, which are empty. So finally these orbital undergo hybridization, that is D2 sp3 hybridization, so that finally this complex will get formed. So it is very much clear from the hybridization that the compound having octahedral geometry, which will be shown by this picture, and the compound or complex ion is paramagnetic in nature due to the presence of these 3 electrons. So on the basis of valence bond theory, we can predict the geometry of the complex and magnetic property of the complex ions. Then similarly apply the valence bond theory to explain the bonding in complex of cobalt. It will also having 6 ammonia ligand. In this case, cobalt having atomic number that is equal to 27, and the electronic configuration of cobalt in ground state, that is 3d 7 electron and 4s 2 electron. In case of complex, cobalt having 3 positive oxidation state. So the electronic configuration of cobalt 3 positive, that is 3d 6. So in order to accommodate 12 electron from the 6 ammonia ligand, the complex required 6 empty orbitals. So to achieve this electron, it is shifted to inner orbital, so that pairing will take place, and finally these 6 orbital in which 2 are d orbital, 1 is s orbital and 3 are p orbital involved in the d2sp3 hybridization. So finally the complex will get formed. So it is very much clear from the hybridization that the complex having octahedral geometry, which is shown by these pictures, and in this case no unpaired electron is available, so compound is diamagnetic in nature. Then let us consider one more examples. It is the complex ion of nickel having 6 ammonia ligand. Nickel having atomic number that is equal to 28. So in ground state it will having 8 electron in 3d orbital and 2 electron in 4s orbital. In case of complex, the oxidation state of nickel that is 2 positive. So this one is the electronic configuration of nickel 2 positive. Now it will having 8 electron in 3d orbital. So in order to accommodate 12 electron from 6 ammonia ligand, it can require at least 6 empty orbital. So in order to achieve this s orbital and these 3 p orbitals and these 2 d orbital take part in sp3d2 hybridization. In this case, the d orbital which are take part in the hybridization, it is from 4d and not from 3d. So finally, in case of complex, the hybridization will occur and it will again having octahedral geometry, and due to the presence of 2 unpaired electron, the complex is paramagnetic in nature. Now the question is rises, why in few complexes the inner 3d orbital will take place in the hybridization and in few cases the outer 4d orbital will take part for the hybridization purpose. For this, an alternative explanation was proposed by Huygens in 1937 to solve this anomaly. He suggested that when a choice of hybrid orbital is available, the metal may be either use inner n-1 d orbital of the metal ion for the hybridization, and these are called inner orbitals. These complexes are mostly diamagnetic or have reduced paramagnetism. They are also called low spin or spin paired complexes. And if the complexes involve the hybridization of outer nd orbital of the metal ion, then these complexes are called outer orbital complexes, and these complexes are mostly paramagnetic in nature, and these are also called high spin or spin free complexes. So let us first consider the example of the inner orbital complex. So in this case, the manganese, it is coordinated with 6 cyanide ligand. The manganese having atomic number that is equal to 25, and it will having 5 electron in 3d orbital and 2 electron in 4s orbital. In case of complex, the oxidation state of manganese that is 2 positive, so This one is the electronic configuration of manganese 2 positive. Now it will having only 5 electron in 3D orbital. So in order to accommodate 12 electron from 6 cyanide ligand, it can required at least 6 empty orbitals. So in order to achieve this, these 2 electrons, they will shifted to the inner orbital so that pairing will take place. Now the complex, it will having 6 empty orbital, in which 2 are the d orbital, 1 is the s orbital, and 3 are the p orbitals, so that d2 sp3 hybridization will take place. So it will having octahedral geometry with this structure, and it is very much clear from this picture. The complex, it will having at least 1 free electron, so the complex is paramagnetic in nature. So in this case, it is very much clear that the inner orbital, that is the 3 orbital, 3D orbital, that will take part in the hybridization. So this complex show reduced paramagnetism, and the complex is inner orbital or spin paired orbital complexes. Then case of the outer orbital complexes. In this example, iron, it is coordinated to 6 fluoride ligand. In this complex, iron is the central metal ion. It will having atomic number that is equal to 26. In ground state, it will having 3D 6 electron and 4s 2 electron. In case of complex, the oxidation state of iron, that is equal to 3 positive. So the electronic configuration of iron 3 positive, that is equal to 3D 5 only. So in order to accommodate 12 electron from 6 fluoride orbital, it can required at least 6 empty orbital. So in order to achieve this, it will involve the participation of the 6 orbital, 4 s orbital, 3 4p orbital, and 2 4d orbital. So it is very much clear from this. In this case, the d orbital which will take part in the hybridization, it is from the 4d orbital and not from the 3d orbital. So outer d orbital take part in this case hybridization. So finally sp3 d2 hybridization will occur, and the complex having the octahedral geometry, and this complex having 5 free electrons, so it is paramagnetic in nature with high spin or spin free complex ions. So it is the example of outer orbital complex. So let us consider few more examples from square planar and tetrahedral complexes. So it is the case in which nickel, that is coordinate with 4 chloride ligand. So nickel will having atomic number that is equal to 28, and in ground state, the electronic configuration of nickel, that is it will having 8 electron in 3d orbital and 2 electron in 4s2 orbital. So in case of complex, the oxidation state of nickel, that is nickel 2 positive, so it will having 3d 8 electron in case of electronic configuration of nickel 2 positive. So in case of complex, to accommodate 8 electron from 4 chloride ligand, it can require at least 4 empty orbitals. So to achieve this, in this case it will having 1 4s orbital and 3 4p orbital, and these are take part in the hybridization. So in this case the hybridization, that is sp3, and the complex will having tetrahedral shape. So it is very much clear from the hybridization that the complex will having 2 unpaired electrons, so it is paramagnetic in nature. So it is the case of the nickel complex having 4 chloride ligand. So it is a tetrahedral complex. Then consider another complex of nickel that is coordinated with 4 cyanide ligand. So the nickel having atomic number that is equal to 28, 8 electron in 3d orbital and 2 electron in 4s orbital. In this complex, the oxidation state of nickel, that is 2 positive. So nickel 2 positive having 3d 8 electron. So this is the electronic configuration for nickel 2 positive. So in order to accommodate 8 electron from 4 cyanide ligand, it can require at least 4 empty orbitals. So in order to achieve this, in this case this electron, it is shifted to the inner orbitals, and in this case this 1d orbital, that is from the 3d orbital, 1 orbital from 4s and 2 orbital from the 4p orbital will take part in the hybridization. So it will having dsp2 hybridization, and the shape of the complex is, that is square planar, and this complex having no unpaired electron. So this complex is diamagnetic in nature. The diamagnetic character of this complex is supported by magnetic susceptibility studies, and the square planar geometry is further supported by the X-ray diffraction studies. Then next example, it is manganese complex having 4 chloride ligand. So the atomic number of manganese, that is equal to 25. So it will having 5 electron in 3d orbital, 2 electron in 4s2 orbital. In this complex, the oxidation state of manganese, that is 2 positive. So the electronic configuration of manganese 2 positive, that is 3d 5. So in order to accommodate 8 electron from 4 chloride ligand, it can require at least 4 empty orbitals. So in order to achieve this, in this case 1 s orbital from 4s and 3 orbital from 4p will take part in the hybridization, so that the complex is sp3 hybridized. So this complex having tetrahedral shape, and it is very much clear from this picture that it will having 5 unpaired electron. So the complex is paramagnetic in nature. Next is the nickel carbonyl complex, in which nickel is coordinate with 4 carbonyl ligand. So in this case the atomic number that is equal to 28. So it will having 3d 8 electron and 4s 2 electron in ground state. In case of this complex, nickel will having 0 oxidation state, so the electronic configuration that is similar. In order to accommodate 8 electron from 4 carbonyl ligand, it can require at least 4 empty orbitals. So in order to achieve this, in this case the one orbital that is from 4s and 3 orbital from 4p will take part in sp3 hybridization. So complex is tetrahedral in shape. So it is very much clear from this data. There is no any unpaired electron, so this complex is diamagnetic in nature. So it is the case of the tetrahedral complex. Then iron complex with carbonyl. In this case iron is coordinated to 5 carbonyl ligand. Iron having atomic number that is equal to 26. So it will having 6 electron in 3d orbital and 2 electron in 4s orbital. And in this case the oxidation state of iron that is again equal to 0. So it will having same electronic configuration. In case of iron 0. So in order to accommodate 10 electron from 5 carbonyl ligand, it can require at least 5 empty orbitals. So in order to achieve this, the pairing of electron will take place. So these electron, it will shifted to the inner orbitals. So that it will having these empty orbital, one orbital from 3d, one orbital from 4s and 3 orbital from 4p orbital. So these orbital get hybridized, dsp3 hybridization, and the geometry of complex that is trigonal bipyramid with this shape. And it is very much clear from this picture that there is no any unpaired electron, so complex is diamagnetic in nature. So it is the example of the trigonal bipyramidal complexes. Now consider the example of the copper with ammonia ligand. In this case copper, it is linked with 4 ammonia ligand. So it is the special case. Why it is the special case? So let us consider the hybridization first in this complex. The copper having atomic number that is equal to 29 and the electronic configuration of copper in ground state that is 3d10 and 4s1 only according to the Hund's rule. In this complex, copper will having 2 positive oxidation state. So the electronic configuration of copper 2 positive that is equal to 3d9 only. So in order to accommodate 8 electron from 4 ammonia ligand, this complex required at least 4 empty orbitals. So we are expected here that these 4 orbitals are 1 from 4s and 3 are from 4p. So it will get sp3 hybridization. So on the basis of hybridization, the geometry of the complex is tetrahedral. What the X-ray diffraction studies of this complex and show that this complex is square planar and paramagnetic in nature. So this hybridization is discarded on the basis of X-ray diffraction study. The actual explanation that is given by this hybridization. So in this case, the 4 orbital which are going to take part in the hybridization, that is 1 orbital from 3D, 1 orbital from 4s and 2 orbital from 4p will get d-sp2 hybridization. So in order to achieve this 1 electron from 3D, it will promoted from this d orbital to 4p orbital. So now this unpaired electron, it is actually lying in 4p orbital. So it will having d-sp2 hybridization with square planar geometry, and it is further supported by X-ray diffraction studies. So it is the special case of coordination compounds. So in last, limitation of valence bond theory. This theory having various limitations. The first one is that it is limited to qualitative explanation only, which means it does not give quantitative interpretation of magnetic data. It does not explain color exhibited by coordination compound. It does not give quantitative interpretation of the thermodynamic and kinetic stability of the coordination compound. It does not make exact prediction regarding the tetrahedral and square planar structure of 4 coordinated complexes. And last one is that it does not distinguish between weak and strong ligand. The why the few complexes are inner orbital complexes and why few are the outer orbital complexes. So it is all about the limitations of the valence bond theories.